before we get into the video, I don't like this setup right now. We're a little too formal, a little too stiff. Let's do something. 3, 2, 1. Much better. Last year we did it in a Grinch onesie. This year we're doing it in a Power Ranger outfit. Red Ranger coming at you for the ultimate guide to keeping a journal. Part 7 for 2020. It's Clark with Refusing to Settle. Let's get into this video. Look at this production, guys. Stepping it up. See the value we're bringing here? We're geeking out about journaling, journal nerds. This is going to be our 7th video, our 7th ultimate guide to keeping a journal. And I know they say similar stuff. That's because every year it's a little different. And the goal of this video is to show you how I set up my 2020 journal. Now, I don't know about you. When I hear 2020, I think 2020 vision. I'm really excited about it. It's just going into a new decade. It seems like a clean start, time to make some changes, and there's no better time to pick up a journaling practice than right here, right now. You are moving into a new decade, 2020. You're moving into a new year, 2020. Put all the baggage behind you. So what do you want your body to look like in 2020? What do you want your relationship to look like in 2020? Do you want to be in one? Attract a soulmate. What do you want your business to be in 2020? What do you want your mental energy and awareness or self-growth to be? This is the time to do it. So if you're excited right now, post in the comments, I'm excited, okay? Because I am. I'm amped. I mean, I'm in a freaking Power Ranger suit making a YouTube video on Christmas for you. Let's get into the basics of journaling. I'm not gonna spend too much time here on why you should journal. Hopefully you're convinced by that, but if you're not and you want some more, okay, what's the actual benefit? I'll link up the playlist below. You can binge watch that. If you watch this video all the way to the end, guys, I have some extra journals. So I wanna show you how you can get one of these. I wanna give away a personally signed, I'll literally mail a physical journal, the exact one we use, to your address. I'll write your name, I'll do whatever. If you want me to write a note in there, you can let me know. I'll give you a chance to win one of these at the end of this video if you stay to the end. You gotta look for that Easter egg, okay? Because I'm gonna drop it at some random time how you can win one of these, and I'll mail it to you. We're gonna choose 3 winners, and I'll tell you how, okay? So watch for that in this video. In a short condensed version, because we talk about journaling so much, this is one of the #1 tools all the greatest minds throughout history have used. We're talking Einstein, Leonardo da Vinci, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, to modern day billionaires like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Oprah. They all keep journals, okay? How would it be if you went into the gym and you just worked out really hard, but you were eating McDonald's? Probably wouldn't look very good, right? It's the same thing in your life. Like, you can read all these books that are awesome. You can go to all the seminars that are great and thousands of dollars. You can watch YouTube channels like this that you get all these self-development ideas. But if we're not actually doing it, that's like working out without the diet plan. This is where you apply it all, okay? And man, to a certain extent, all that self-development stuff, if you don't internalize it and make it really real for you, like we'll do in this video, in this journal, and this is how you do it, it's just good info. It's kind of like mental masturbation. You're just jerking off with the new idea to stimulate you, and then you go back to your life and nothing really changes if nothing changes. You need a place to do that. That's what your journal is. Are you getting this? This is also a log that you can look back on. So I'll open it up right here. This is my 2019 journal. I have sitting right here, we have the 2018 journal. We have the 2016 journal. We have 2015, 14, 13, the list goes on. So I can go back through and look at this, and I'm doing the same method every single year, and I can see, okay, these were my goals. This is what I was learning. And in like 10 or 20 minutes or so, I know if I'm on track progressing or not. I have real tangible proof. It's kind of like a yearbook, right? Remember looking back on your old yearbooks? Maybe you're home for the holidays, you busted out mom's yearbook collection of you. Oh my God, I can't believe I looked like that. That was what I was into. Oh, there's the signatures, all that stuff. This is like a yearbook for your life. Okay, and you go back through, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that, or oh, that was such a good time. I remember when I was working towards that. Just a personal example for me, in the back, I have YouTube goals right here, and I'm like, oh man, I remember when I was trying to hit my first 100,000 subscribers, and I have like all the dates logged. Or I remember when I was trying to launch my first product or do all this stuff. It's so cool, guys. And if you've never done this, man, I can't put into words how that feels. This is where you go to coach yourself. Okay, that's a term that we came up with on this channel, just float out. Everyone's spending, this year, I spent 25 grand for a mastermind, 15 grand for another coach, That's 40 grand. Can I do math here on the spot? Another probably 10 or 20 grand going to events. So I spent like 60 grand this year on self-development and coaches. But nothing tops this. This is still number one, because where does all that info go? It goes in here, and then it goes in here, and then it creates your reality. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions create your reality. The life you have is one set of actions away from what you're doing today. I want you to remember that. You're just one set of actions away. So you guys get this? Are you pumped up? Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into setting it up right now so you can actually do this for 2020. This, I mentioned, is the 2019 journal right here, and this will be the 2020. So first thing you do is I write the year and your name. You only get one shot at that, so you gotta make sure it's good. And I'm writing with a Expo pen. I highly do not recommend this. Next thing is you write your name, obviously the year. Refusing to settle, that's my brand, that's my motto, it's my life mission, is to always inspire you guys to refuse to settle, that you're literally one set of actions away from the life you want. And if you refuse to settle, that's the only thing that's gonna hold you back is settling. So you gotta stop settling, start living, and that's really how you unlock everything. That's the key. Next up, this is the first big idea. Okay, we have this 22,500. What does that number mean? 32,850. Okay, guess that number. What do you think that is? That is the number of days you have from birth till 90 years old. And when I started talking about this concept, someone sent me a photo on Instagram, and they actually got it tattooed on their wrist. I thought that was so cool. 32,850. That's not a lot of days, right? It's like we have this thing, this mindset that we're going to be here forever and that life is just going to be long and all this stuff. But I take a more pessimistic, stoic approach, and I count the days till 90. So now I have 22,000, around 500 days till 90. And so I like that as a reminder of kind of my own mortality, and that we really got to maximize the days we have, because it's not just the amount of sheer days. We all have the same days if we live till 90. It's about how we're using it. So 22,500, I love that because it looks smaller and smaller every year, which I know sounds morbid, but I actually think that's really inspiring to maximize and live full out and refuse to settle for every single one of those. So if you want to do that, that's great. Just take your age, times it by 365, and then minus that number from 32,850. You put that there. That is the amount of days you have till 90. I won't spend too much time setting this up. I'll give you a few notes before we move on to the back cover, and I'll show you, and then we'll dive into the 6-in-1 journaling method that we talk about. So close this, and I'll show you this. My 2019 journal. Here's where you put your biggest quotes and the things like the 1% cream on the top. You know, you get those yogurts and there's that cream top on there, and it's like this little layer, but it's really, really good. Tastes like butter. That's what you put right here. These are the nuggets for that year, so that when you go back through, you're in a rush, you can flip through and be like, oh yeah, all these things. So I put from 2019, like the past does not equal the future. How you make your money is more important than how much money you make. Marketers make the money. Be a good marketer. The fortune is in the follow-up. My outer world is a reflection of my inner world. Don't be afraid to look stupid. So all these lessons that sound obvious, but I'm really trying to instill. And I'll say that this 2019 journal was a lot of business. I was going to events like 1 or 2 a month, man, traveling all around the US and the world, internationally and stuff in the band. And man, I was just travel. So I was in such marketing mode. And this year I'm going back more into like self-development mode and really growing as a person, not just the business and the numbers. So a lot of these lessons are business oriented, but hopefully for you, there are a lot of self-development lessons or maybe business as well. But that is the front cover, okay? So you have your general info right here, what you stand for, kind of your mission statement, and then you have your cream on the top right here, that 1% that you want to flip back through and learn. And this will grow over time. Hopefully over the year you can fill it up with any quotes, any lessons, any sayings. Now, the other thing, you do swap this out every single year. Okay, that's a big question I get a lot. Is Clark, you know, it's December now, but I was watching this in June. Should I start a new journal, or should I carry over my one from the year before? It still has blank pages. Swap it out. That's always what I say. I love having a fresh stack. Now this one, this is full. But my other journals, maybe they have a few bits for room in there as well. Okay, so you always want to be swapping your journal out, just a clean start for the year. That's what I recommend. And last note on gear before we dive in, this is a Pentalic sketchbook. I'll link up in the description below. It's the reason I use it is because it's certified from sustainable Just kidding. 8.5 by 11, 110 sheets or 220 pages. And I use a blank one because I don't like the lines. It just feels too much like school. And I love the hardcover because you carry this with you wherever you go. And this thing gets beat up, man. Like you can see right here from all the travel. This is just over a year. I have other journals where the spine is literally falling off, okay? So that is the reason I do that, and the reason I use a blank one. Swap it out every year. Let me take you to the back cover. Now, what do you do with this? Okay, so your front cover, right? You have your 1%, you got your info. The back cover is kind of who do you want to become this year? What are your goals? We're gonna do a video on upgraded goal setting workshop. I'll link up the one from last year that you can watch. But I'll show you right here, okay? This is the goals. And some of these I've hit, some of these I haven't. I like to divide goals into 3 areas. This is a big simplified version of goal setting. Your work, your rest, and your play. Another way to look at this is grind, body, spirit, okay? Or grind, body, adventure. So, what do you want to accomplish? What do you want to go after? Do you want to make $1 million? Do you want to make $100,000? Do you want to grow a YouTube channel? What are your analytical masculine numbers, male energy form, all that stuff goes in here. Then you have your body. What do you want to look like? And admittedly, guys, I got really close to this year, like 12% body fat, 185 pounds. I did hit that, but I mean, admittedly, I'm back up to like 195. So that's another thing, is like holding yourself accountable. And if you see this multiple years, I mean, that's one thing I really got to dial in on, just being honest with you, is my health, and really getting to a body fat that I like. Not that I'm huge or obese. I mean, look at my muscles here, guys. Look, I'm freaking ripped. These are real. But like, I do want to accomplish that more in 2020. So it's okay if you haven't hit these yet. I did do a gut cleanse, heavy metal detox, save, yep. Smile direct, yep. I got those teeth fixed right here. If you go back through old videos, you'll see some jagged daggers pointing out, kind of like a snaggle tooth. I just fixed it. I spent like $2 or $3 grand in 6 months to fix my teeth. I'm still in the process of getting them 100% fixed. But yeah, that was a big one for me. So even if you hit like 20% of these goals, you're still doing better than you were. I'll go over a few of these with you, of what I wrote down, just some big goals that I want to accomplish. Just not that this video is all about me, but just so you can get the gears spinning in your head, just some good jump off points for you. I want to hit 400,000 YouTube subscribers, then 500 YouTube subscribers by 2021. I really want to say double it, but I don't want to set the bar so high and miss it, because I feel like that can be discouraging. I think you should, everyone talks about 10x and 10x your goals and don't settle and refusing to settle, right? But refusing to settle is not saying I'm going to be a millionaire by next year. I mean, that's just unrealistic, and that's going to do more harm than good, in my experience. Rig the game so you can win. 500,000 subscribers, we can do that. That's an extra 200 than what we have now, roughly. And I really want to feel good about that those 500,000 people, guys, on this channel, 500,000 people watching you. Like, that's like stadiums filled all around the world of people who just come in to watch you. Even if you have 60,000 people, that's enough to fill a stadium. Imagine you walking in every day, hitting record, and talking to a stadium full of people. That's mind-blowing. And I really want to do this in an authentic, cool way, where we're keeping it real. We're not trying to be someone else. That's what we stand for on this channel, is like living a life true to yourself, not what others expect. Refusing to settle for what you are and doing it in an authentic way, and not taking shortcuts or scammy marketing tactics or stuff that's all clickbait and no value, okay? So I want to do that in the authentic way. Rest, 12% body fat, 175 pounds, but I want to meditate for 100 days straight and do a challenge where I'm documenting that for you on this channel. Gut cleanse and parasite test, which I know sounds a little weird, but I've been deep diving into holistic health, and that's how we started on this channel, actually. It's called Clark Danger Fitness, because I thought I was going to be in the fitness space. That's what my degree's in as well. But I really want to do some testing instead of just guessing. I've had some symptoms of a gut parasite, that I want to flush out and do some tests for that. So I'll leave it there. I'm not going to go into that. Play is moved to AZ, Arizona. That's happening next month. I'm really excited for that. Set up a whole official studio, do some tours there as well. Is this helpful, seeing some goals here? All right. Post in the comments right now a work goal, a rest goal, and a play goal for you, okay? Work, rest, play. What's the one thing 12 months from now, you're looking back, you want to have accomplished. I want to know in the comments. It's okay if you already commented. You can do multiple comments. That's totally fine. Post it in the comments below. Love reading those down there. Now we set these for a journal nerd outfit right here. Got pens all over. You might be thinking, what do I actually put in this journal now? I like to do a lot of sections, okay? I'll dive into a few of these, but know that there's no right or wrong section here. In short, I want you to choose 5 or 6 areas that matter to you, that you want to really dive into this year, that you want to track this year. So right here, this is courses and masterminds that I was a student of. So all my mastermind stuff is in here. Everything I learn at events and conferences is right here in this section. And you divide that up into about 20 pages or so, just like this. I have a section with coaching calls. I work with coaches, and I think everyone should have a coach at some point, even if it's not right now, but you know, I'm paying tens of thousands of dollars for that. So every call I do a half section of notes. This is cool. This is the Refusing to Settle YouTube section. So all my ideas for YouTube videos and this channel, how I can better serve you, upgrade the content. You know, if that's a new series like the Fastback Freedom Friday, I was writing in here, okay, what would be really cool? What if we did like an 80s throwback series and it was just driving around in the 65 having a candid conversation about business? So, and like earning your freedom, not necessarily being a millionaire, but what does freedom look like to you? How do you achieve freedom? That comes out of here. Okay, you guys ready to get stressed out? I'm gonna show you something. And this is a cool section that I came up with in 2019. And it's based on to-do lists and trackers. So we've done videos on how to plan your most productive week ever. I'll link that up as well. Watch that if you wanna go more in depth on this system right here. But this is awesome, okay? I'm telling you, you're gonna get stressed out. So I did 52 weeks of tracking. So I divide this into sections just like that, half the page. So this is week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And you do that for 52 weeks. So it's about 25 pages in your journal. Super, super cool. And so you divide each section for that week into like 3 or 4 things. So maybe you're working a 9-to-5 job, okay, you have your work there. Or maybe you want to work out 5 times a week, you can write it here. This is so cool because now you're tracking your weeks. And if you don't track your weeks, you just kind of wing it and life just gets away from you. And I don't like doing it digitally in a phone just because it's so distracting for me. If I have my phone and I'm constantly looking at it, it's just like, oh, swipe over and go to Instagram and waste 30 minutes, right? Or YouTube and go down the rabbit hole. So I try to do things as analytical or as, analog as possible, not digital. Next section that I highly recommend you adopt is a freedom section. This is where anything goes. Okay, if you have a section that might not be big enough for its own 20 pages, like let's just say you were learning all about health, okay, like I just told you I think I have a parasite. Cool thing to put in a YouTube video, right? But you know, maybe I'm going into parasitology and I'm learning stuff and I want to write notes. That might go in my freedom section. Maybe you just have a question like, hey, how do I find my purpose? Or you find something in a YouTube video, you know, you're drawing it out, you're doing the exercises that we give you in this video. You might put a freedom section here and then do all those exercises in one place. So why are we organizing it in sections? Well, it's because if you just don't do this and every single page is different, that's so easy to get lost. So this is the simplest way I've found to organize a decently free-flowing system, admittedly loose. It's how we like it. We don't do any sort of like bullet journaling, nothing on that. I've just never tried it, and it's just way too structured and rigid. And my theory with journaling is the more obligation and rigidness you attach to it, you don't want your journal to control your life, okay? You don't want your journal to become an obligation. You want it to become an inspiration for you. You should never go here out of obligation. You should only come here for inspiration. If you want to journal, a lot of people ask me, like, Clark, how much should I journal? What's the frequency I should do? Do you do 10 minutes a day? You know, what's the optimal amount? Okay, I got to hold myself accountable. I'm like, dude, you're doing it wrong. If you have a limit or if you have a goal to journal 10 times a week, like, what's the point? That's just another thing on your to-do list. Your journal should always be like this thing you're inspired to pick up. I never have a single hesitation like, oh, I should put that in my journal. I have to do this. I always want to. And I think that's why I've kept this practice up for like 8 years, is having a very loose system like this has been the most effective way I've found to stick at journaling. A last section I would highly recommend you adopt is something called a brain dump section. When life gets in the way, when stuff hits the fan, where do you go? You know, it's easy to get in your own head, and just kind of stew on it and have all this worry. But something happens when you take it out of your head and you put it on paper. You're able to analyze it. You're able to walk yourself through it. You're able to coach yourself. So look, I'm not about going to your journal as a diary. I don't like that form. Maybe you have a section in your journal that is a diary. That's one thing. But the brain dump section is you can write about a problem, okay? And sometimes writing about a problem makes it worse. So at the end of a brain dump, what I would highly recommend you do, either that day or the next day, is come back to it and then ask this one question. It's so good. What advice would I give someone else in my exact same situation? Man, that question right there has given me some really good guidance and some good solutions that I wouldn't have gotten if I just sat there and worried, oh my God, this thing happened, oh, it's so bad, or oh, everything's going all over, life's gonna, oh, it sucks. What advice would you give someone else in your exact same situation? That's a third-party viewpoint where you can zoom out and look down and coach yourself through. Okay, so that's a brain dump section. I try to keep that very small. I don't like having those multiple times a month, but again, there's no rules here. So use it however you want. So I mentioned we have a special giveaway. And since you made it to this point in the video, I want to give you some details on how you can win one of these 3 journals that I'll personally sign and send to you. So next week, I'll announce the winner. So listen up. How you win one of these journals. We're giving one away to just anybody, okay? So if you want to win one of these journals, comment this phrase down below. I'll put the keyword up right here so I know you're watching this video. Post that in the comments below somewhere in your comment, okay? If you post that phrase, you'll be entered to win one of these journals. I'll ship it to you personally. I'll sign it and give it to you. If you live somewhere that's really in a tough part of the world, then we'll come up with something. Maybe I'll give you the free My Best Journal course right there, okay? But if you're in the US, that's super easy. So I'll ship one of these to you, I'll sign it if you comment that phrase down below. That's for anyone. Second is if you're someone who has not purchased the My Best Journal course yet, that's where we go way more in depth than this video. Okay, we take everything in this video, we elaborate way more in depth, we show you exactly how, the step-by-step, how to keep the best book you've ever read because you're writing it. 2 of these journals I'm gonna send to 2 new customers for the My Best Journal course. Okay, when you go and you buy this course on the special link below, you're entered to win automatically. And I'll do the drawing in next week's journal video, okay? Or it might be a week after, but somewhere in then. Okay, if you're watching this right now, you still have a chance to win that as long as we haven't drawn it yet. All you have to do to enter that is buy our My Best Journal course, and our tracking system will put all your names in a hat or something. I haven't figured it out. It'll be fair, and I'll pull one out and then you'll win. If you're not in the My Best Journal course, here's what I'm doing. For the next 48 hours, it's half off. If you use that link below, you go there, you buy it, you're like, yes, I want to take on 2020 head on. I want to adopt journaling, the 6-in-1 method. Use that course. Thousands of people have used it and benefited from it, so I'll link it down below for 50% off. I think it's one of the best gifts you can give to yourself this year, is really master this and hold yourself accountable. Be in a community of people who are using this method. That is the link below. It's only with that link. That is a special discount as a thank you and as a Merry Christmas. And that's how you have one chance to win 2 of these journals. Again, this one's going to just anyone with that code word, and these 2 are going to new customers. Personally sign it and ship it to you. That is Ultimate Guide to Keeping a Journal. Last year we did it in a Grinch onesie. This year we did it in a Power Ranger suit. Next year we'll probably do it in a Superman suit. I might get the curl down right here. A lot of you have been asking. So just to, satisfy that need to be Superman on YouTube, next year we'll do a Clark Kent edition. Love each and every one of you. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and until next time, keep journaling. Best book you've ever read, baby. Stop settling, start living. See you guys.